Hey there, it's Victoria Gallagher from the Power of Your Mind podcast, and you are listening to episode number 58. So today we are doing things a little differently. I don't have a guest with me today. Today we're going to go back to the original way that I used to do the podcast just for today. I'll have a guest next week, but for today we are just going to talk you and me because I want to share a few of my best strategies, secret strategies that you can use to attract success. So there's no opening music, there is no commercials. There's just one intention, and that is teaching you today how to manifest success. So before I get into that, I just want to share with you a little bit of my backstory and kind of how I got started in this whole manifesting thing. So I have been a hypnotherapist for the last 20 years and working with law of attraction success strategies as a coach. I'm well known for my hypnotic recordings, my personal development courses, and of course, recently I became a #1 best-selling author of the book Practical Law of Attraction. And I'm also an international speaker. So for those of you who are new to the podcast and you don't know those things about me, I'm just letting you know a little bit about that. So I'm going to be your guide today on what has the potential to be your very first step in your journey to unlock your true potential and to break free of your limiting beliefs. The information that we're going to cover today is proven psychological science that the beliefs that guide your thinking and your behavior, beliefs that you've created for yourself and that have been created for you by your parents, your teachers, your church, maybe even your boss, are literal prison bars that have been keeping you stuck from having what you really want. And so today I want to give you some of the tools that you can take action on and really make a difference in your life. We're going to be discussing 3 specific ways that you've been sabotaging your success and the action steps that you can take now to begin altering your reality and molding it into what you want it to be. I think this is going to take me probably about 45 minutes to an hour to share, and that's still not enough time really to teach you everything. So we're just going to be able to scratch the surface on the tip of the iceberg today on what is going to really make the difference in your life. But this is going to provide you with the power to make some real and tangible changes, to take action that's actually going to change your life if only you are willing to take those first steps. So, to get the most value out of today's podcast, I really encourage you to stay until the end. All right. And before we begin, I just want you to think in your mind about the picture, an image of an iceberg. Just imagine the image of an iceberg where you're only seeing above the surface of the water about 10% of that iceberg. But the remaining part of the iceberg, the unseen part, is actually 90%. The iceberg is a real important analogy to share with you just how much of your mind is actually conscious and how much of your mind is subconscious. The vast majority of your mind is subconscious, and it's really unknown to you. It's anything that you're not aware of right now. So it's probably even more like 99% of your mind is subconscious. So you could also say that what you're going to discover today in this podcast is only the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to be sharing with you some information on how you can dive deeper into that and really harness the power of what's below the surface. So Once again, who am I and what makes me qualified to teach you this stuff? It's a good question. I've been manifesting success in my personal life as well as my business life for as long as I can remember. I've been married to my soulmate for over 11 years. I've had my own business for 20 years. And recently, like I said, I wrote a book, which is still riding high on the Amazon #1 bestseller list in its category for over 5 months now. Practical Law of Attraction. And also, I can tell you that while I grew up in a family who is morbidly obese, here I am at age 50 in the best shape of my life. I run, walk, hike at least 7 miles every day without fail. And whatever I set out to achieve, I get it. I have this special way of thinking about things that I tap into. And I always said that if I could package up how I do this, then I would share it with others. Well, today's podcast, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to share 3 of my strategies for attracting success in my life. And while I call these my success strategies, after today, they're not going to be a secret to you anymore. And there is much, much more where these secrets come from. I absolutely love my life. I work when I want. No one tells me when to get up, when I can eat lunch, when I can leave the office. If I want to meditate, go for a hike at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I do. If I want to have a 3-day or a 4-day weekend, I don't need to ask anyone if I can. If I want to get on a plane and go to Australia, New Zealand, Iceland, London, Canada, or the Cayman Islands, and those are just a few of the places I've been, I book a flight and a hotel room and I go. Although I do have to admit that I do desperately miss my kitty cats when I'm away. And so I just feel really blessed and grateful that I have manifested a life that has allowed me to be exactly who I always wanted to be, someone who inspires others, someone who does the things that I always wanted to do, and someone who has the things that I always wanted to have. As a matter of fact, I can't even imagine my life any other way now. The freedom and the liberty that I've created is something that I know a lot of people, I dare say you, have only dreamed about. And this point is crucial. If you're sitting here listening and wishing that you could have this freedom and perhaps feeling like that is totally out of your reach, then today's podcast is totally going to be the key for you to unlock the door to your limiting beliefs and set you on the same path if you want it. You need to understand something though. Life wasn't always that easy for me. When I started to manifest things way back about 20 years ago, I was unhealthy, unhappily single, trying to get my business off the ground. And I hit a lot of roadblocks, especially in the very beginning, that were totally in my way of taking me where I really wanted to go. And I had to take a really good, hard look at myself, at the way that I was thinking about things. And just like you, I realized that I needed to get some of my limiting beliefs out of the way before I was ever going to manifest any of these things. So up until about 20 years ago, I was working as a stockbroker. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I did really well in that business. I was making good money, and from the outside, it really looked like everything was great for me. The problem is that I just didn't feel happy. I didn't feel fulfilled. In fact, after 6 years of this, I actually started hating my job. Sure, I was really earning a great paycheck, but quite frankly, I was bored and I needed a change. And I finally got to the point where I had to make a decision. And what was I going to do? I had no idea. So I began, very much like you probably are right now, reading self-help books, listening to positive affirmations, attending a few self-development seminars. And as I sat there in one of those seminars one day, a light bulb went off, and I knew that I wanted to work with people and to help them. Now, I was working with people and helping them as a stockbroker, but I wanted to help them more with their personal development. And so I got myself certified in hypnotherapy and quickly found out that one thing was leading to another. And before you know it, I was starting my own business. And now I was doing all of that, starting my own business, having my own business, but still working. And I thought, yeah, I can build this thing up, and when it takes off, then I can just quit my job. Well, wouldn't it be great if everything worked out that way? But when my boss found out what I was doing, he gave me an ultimatum. He said, it's either your business, Victoria, or it's us. And you've got 30 days to make a decision. Well, that was nice. And actually, it was really nice. It was actually probably the most important day of my life because obviously I went with my business. It was super scary, but I did it. And you know what? I am so grateful every day that I was forced into making that decision. I wasn't ready. Okay? I wasn't ready. And I just want you to understand something here. You're never going to be ready. Okay? So just really understand that. Sometimes change, most of the time, anytime change, anytime you're going to do something and take something on that represents change, it's going to be scary. And you're going to have to do it before you feel ready. So that's enough about me. Let's really get into what I wanted to talk to you today about. What we're going to cover in today's podcast is going to help you really in any aspect of your life, whether you want a better relationship, whether you want to be closer with your friends or your family, or whether you want business success. This can help you. And so since we only have limited amount of time, I'm going to kind of skew this toward focusing on business success since that's my specialty. But please understand that what I'm going to talk to you today about, the principles are the same whether you are starting a business or working on a weight goal or working on your personal life. It really just, it doesn't matter. The principles are the same. So starting a business, let's say, in and of itself is really not that complicated. All you got to do is come up with an idea, create a plan, and take action on it. But it does take more than that to create a successful business. And I'm sure you want a successful business if that's what you're looking to do. And, despite the enormous amount of information that's out there today for people to be able to start their own businesses and how to do it and all the books that are written on it, still 80% of all new businesses fail. 8 out of 10. Why is that? Why do these businesses fail? Is it that their ideas suck, or is it that they don't know how to run a business? And I wish I could say that that's the reason, but it's really not. It's because most people don't understand how to train their minds to work for them, how to truly break free of the limiting beliefs that are holding them back and that are probably holding you back. So in order for a business to thrive and give you the kind of freedom and the lifestyle that you really want, it needs something that most people just don't have. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So if you're stuck, unhappy, frustrated, just want to make something better for yourself and your family, it's time for you to really sit up now, pay attention, because I'm about to share some really powerful stuff with you, some really important things that can truly change your life here today. But before we jump in, let me just make one suggestion. Please take this seriously. Think of this as one of the most important meetings that you've ever attended. I want you to sit up straight. I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper, pad, take some notes, and eliminate all distractions. Just turn everything else off except for whatever you're using to listen to this podcast. Turn off Facebook and just allow yourself to get really focused and stay present. And that's going to be actually my number one success strategy right now. So are you doing it? Because I'm telling you the 3 secret success strategies, and the first one here, write this down. The first one is laser focus. So let's do this. Let's laser focus on what we're talking about in this podcast today. Because focus is a critical component in anything that you do. Lack of focus is one of the biggest reasons that most people do not have what they want and why most businesses fail. Failure to focus may be keeping you from what you actually deserve. Because we live in a world of distractions, don't we? Our phones, our computers, our televisions, all these things are bidding for our attention. And it's no wonder why there's so many people out there that are suffering more and more from this so-called attention deficit disorder. You didn't hear about any attention deficit disorder back when I was growing up, okay? And so I believe a lot of that has to do with all the distractions. There's so many more distractions in the world today. So let's really dive in to focus and how lack of focus has been limiting you and how you can master it. So lack of focus is a success killer. As I mentioned a little while ago, we live in an unprecedented era of distraction. There's a lot that demands our attention all day and every day. And you need to be able to tune into what is important and tune out the diversions. Developing focus is a critical component to overcoming those things in your life that are holding you back and breaking away from your limiting beliefs so that you can achieve what you want. And you can learn to be more focused in this presentation today, in this podcast today. So what is focus exactly? Simply put, focus is a deeper level of concentration. It's that inner power that keeps you on track and filters out unnecessary distractions. And why is focus so important to manifesting success? Well, in order to achieve success, you have to have absolute clarity on what it is that you want, be it in the short term or the long term. And you have to focus every day on those things that you need to do in order to get you to that goal. And when you find that you're having a hard time focusing, you're also going to find that you tend to make more mistakes, you waste time and effort, and you begin to worry that maybe you just can't think straight or that you're not productive. So how do you become better at focusing? Think about your ability to focus as exercising your mental muscles. The mind is like a muscle. Use it and it grows strong. Neglect to use it and it becomes soft and flabby. So I want to share with you a mental exercise technique that is going to help you to strengthen your mind and improve your overall ability to focus. So here we go. Let's begin with a short and sweet meditation exercise that you can do anywhere and anytime. So here's how it works, and I want you just to do this with me. First, start by breathing in deeply, taking 2 or 3 deep breaths. Good, there's one. Good, and there's 2. And let's do one more. There's 3. Okay, and you should feel a little bit more relaxed right now, and I just want you to feel your energy beginning to center, and just allow your mind to become quiet as you can while I'm still speaking to you. And to quiet your mind, you need to focus your attention on one single object. So I want you just to maybe look at an object or look at your hand even. Maybe, just take a look at your hand. And it could be anything. It could be a lamp. It could be a flower. It could be a candle flame, whatever it is. But just pick something. If you don't have anything else to focus on, just focus on your hand and really look at it in every detail, ignoring everything else around it. Just take time to notice every little detail about this object. Notice what your hand feels like, or whatever the object is that you're looking at, what it looks like. Notice the color, notice if it's hard or soft. Okay? And so after today, because we don't want to take too much time here doing all of this on the podcast, after today, just go through these steps. And after you've taken some time to notice every little detail, just notice how your mind, it has been able to kind of break free for a little while from all those distractions. And the more you do that, the more you're going to strengthen your attention span and your ability to focus on things for longer and longer periods of time. So just go ahead and return to total conscious awareness, breaking your mind from the object, and center your thoughts again on what I am talking about. This is a really simple exercise, but like I said, you can do this anytime you want. This exercise is going to train you to narrow your focus. You're going to find that the more you do this exercise, and I would advise doing it once or twice a day, that after a short time, you're going to notice that you're able to focus your attention much easier on anything you want. Really works, and just like lifting weights is eventually going to tone the muscles in your body, this is eventually going to tone the muscles in your mind to be able to focus more intently and for longer periods of time. And as you can imagine, this is super important for anything that you are needing to manifest, because what you focus on expands. So let's go into success strategy number 2, which is an attitude of awesomeness. All right? An attitude of awesomeness. Now, you've probably heard that your attitude determines your altitude, right? Having an attitude of awesomeness, more importantly, just getting rid of the negative mental attitude, is one of the most powerful ways that you can attract more success into your life. Developing and maintaining an attitude of awesomeness has been proven to have a direct effect on the outcome of your life. In fact, scientific studies have now shown that optimists actually live longer than pessimists. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of how to have an attitude of awesomeness, I just want to make something really clear about this. I think that many people believe that in order to be a positive person, you have to somehow cover up your real, authentic, genuine feelings and hide your face behind a fake smile 24 hours a day, no matter what is going on with you. And that could not be further from the truth. That is not being positive. That is pretending to be or feel something that you're not. Nothing could chase success away faster and lower your vibration than having to fake and be something that you're not. So when you do that, the universe is seeing right through you. So you're not actually aligning with what you want when you do that. An attitude of awesomeness doesn't mean that you're never going to get mad, you're never going to have bad days, you're never going to get frustrated, you're never going to feel depressed, you're never going to feel lost sometimes, okay? We're human beings, and we're designed to feel the whole array of emotions, whether they're positive or whether they're negative. But what I am saying is that having an attitude of awesomeness, you're going to be able to change the way you perceive what's happening. And you're going to be able to respond to situations in a much more constructive way rather than reacting, getting thrown into a negative tailspin every time something bad happens to you. Okay, you're going to be able to maybe see it in a different way and respond to it better. So in order for you to really harness an attitude of awesomeness, it is vital that you understand and accept one simple point. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts are real. And when they persist along with strong emotions, they will absolutely manifest themselves in the real world. And this can work for you or this can work against you. Your inner thoughts and emotions are program your subconscious mind. It's your subconscious mind that's really the most powerful part of your mind. And it simply carries out whatever you deeply believe. It doesn't question, doesn't judge. It simply internalizes your conscious thoughts and emotions till they take root and become your innate beliefs. Doesn't matter if those beliefs are negative or positive. And speaking of negative, we are much more wired to think about negative than we are the positive. This bias toward negativity is due to some very old wiring, which is no longer necessary, but it's remained intact since the time that we needed to be on guard for things like saber-toothed tigers lurking around every corner. The point is, if you're constantly filling your subconscious mind with what you don't want, it's going to give you exactly what you don't want. Negativity shows up in your attitude, your beliefs, and even your actions. You radiate it, and people can sense it. Now, on the other hand, if you program your subconscious mind with a positive attitude, you're going to get positive things back. This is the basis for what's called the law of attraction. The law of attraction is how all the world's most successful people have created amazing inventions, soared to unimaginable heights of financial wealth, and who have achieved the seemingly impossible. I wish we had time today to really dive into more about the law of attraction because it is one of my favorite subjects, but unfortunately we don't. So at the end of the podcast, I'm going to give you a couple ways that you can learn more about that so that you can really harness the true power of your mind. As the great success guru Napoleon Hill used to say, the only thing in this universe over which you have complete absolute control over is your mind. And he also said attitude, actually it was not Napoleon Hill that said that, it was Einstein said your attitude is more important than knowledge. So hopefully by now you understand that it is your attitude that is truly what determines your success. So I'm going to share with you now some of my top ways you can develop and maintain a positive attitude. You're the only one who can do this. So I want you to really, really tune in now and pay very special attention and take notes, because these few tips are really going to be a game changer for you if you put them into practice. So number one, practice being in the moment. Try to notice the kind of thoughts that you're having at any one time and observe them objectively and honestly and classify them for yourself. Actually becoming aware of your thoughts and staying present is some of the most important mental work you're ever going to do. Did you know that if you're feeling depressed, it's because you're most likely in the past, thinking about the past? And if you're feeling anxious, it's most likely because you're probably thinking about the future. So in order for you to really be at peace, you need to stay present. You need to be in the moment. You need to be in the moment as much as you possibly can. And you're going to find that you have this feeling of peace, which translates into a positive attitude. Number two is express gratitude. There's always something that you can be grateful for, whether you say it out loud or just to yourself. Find something to be grateful for every single day. There's really so much. Do you have a place to live? Are you healthy? Do you have friends and family? Do you have all 10 toes? Just find anything to be grateful for, and your attitude is bound to bring you success. Number three, random acts of kindness. Have you ever done something nice for someone else and just felt really good about it? Doing someone a kindness, even a small one, is a very positive, powerful attitude adjuster. There are lots of ways that you can do this, even on a daily basis if you want. You can let someone go ahead of you in traffic. You can hold open a door for someone. You can send someone an anonymous gift. Kindness just feels good, and it changes your attitude for the better. All right, number 4 is forgiveness. Now, this one can be huge, but it can also be hard. Keep in mind, though, that holding on to resentment creates a lot of negative energy. And you know who suffers the most from resentment? You. The point of forgiveness is not about letting the other person you're forgiving off the hook. It's about setting yourself free. When you forgive, you let go of a lot of heavy baggage and negative energy, and you make room for more positive emotions instead. All right, number 5 is change your physiology. This is an easy one, and you can do it anytime you want. Our physiology and our psychology are very much intertwined, and one affects the other. So if you notice that you're not in a good mood, it is most likely that you are also looking down or that you have poor posture. It's nearly impossible for you to be looking up and feeling bad at the same time. So the next time you catch yourself looking down or hunching over, break that pattern by sitting up straight, holding your head up high, and smile. And I know it sounds silly, but silly is better than negative, so smile. All right, number 6 is eliminate the word should. Believe it or not, using the word should causes all sorts of problems. When you say things like she should, or he ought to, or I should, you're actually judging the other person, the situation, or even yourself wrong. Using should, I thought the lawnmowers were getting ready to go off. Using should, especially on yourself, can make you feel like you're just not good enough. And when you use it on others, it's like you're looking down on them and you're not accepting them or their choices. Just by eliminating this one single word from your vocabulary, you are going to greatly improve your attitude. You're going to find that if you become more aware of when you're tempted to say it, and instead of saying should, reflect on why you feel the need arise within you, eventually you're going to learn to stop judging yourself and judging others so harshly and reacting on autopilot. So just be more accepting of yourself and others. You can't change what you don't accept. Number 7, there's no try, only do. From now on, don't ever say to yourself that you're going to try to do something. Say to yourself that you will do it. This may sound like a real simple distinction, but it's an important one. It's important because when you say I will, you're making a commitment. When you say I'll try, you're making room for an excuse. And finally, number 8, immerse yourself in positivity. Okay, this last one here for the attitude strategy. Whether we like it or not, we are influenced by the outside forces that are all around us. We can't change people, but we can change ourselves. We are all human beings, and given persistent influences, we are going to be affected by that. And that means, unfortunately, if you hang around negative people, no matter how positive you are, you're eventually going to get pulled into that. On the other hand, if you hang around positive thinkers, it's going to rub off on you. It's simple. Do you want to be around people who are unhappy and complain all the time about the stuff that they don't like? Or would you rather be around people who talk about great things that are happening now and the awesome things that they're creating and looking forward to in the future? One of the best ways that you can change your attitude is to immerse yourself in other people who have a great attitude. Also immerse yourself into books and take classes and attend things with like-minded people who are positive. And that's how you're going to meet more positive-minded people that you can hang around with. There are many people who are out there working on their personal development just like you, who choose to be positive, and I sincerely invite you to become one of those people and associate yourself with them, because they are people who are taking action in their lives and creating amazing results for themselves. All right, are you ready for secret success strategy number 3? Change your subconscious limiting beliefs. Now, we have come to what is arguably the most influential thing that either holds you back or pushes you forward, and it's your belief, those deeply held opinions that you take as facts. They guide and affect everything you do. Your beliefs encompass everything from how the world works to how it should work, about you, who you are, and what you can do and what you cannot do, all of that. And we've talked about this several times already, that your thoughts create your world. Your beliefs are deeply set into your subconscious and are therefore really difficult to change. Most people don't even consciously realize what these beliefs are, or even that they have them. Yet they are running you 24 hours a day on autopilot. And I think it's really important to understand the difference between conscious and subconscious mind and the power that these have. So your conscious mind is just that part of you that's the real logical, rational part of you. It's your short-term memory. It's how you're listening to this podcast right now, how you're taking in information. It's how you perceive things in the present moment. It's the one part of your mind that you are completely aware of at all times and that you have immediate and direct control over. Conscious mind is relatively powerless, though, to affect your habits, your behaviors. In fact, it's hard just to change your feelings about things. For example, just having a conscious thought, I'm going to be a millionaire next year. That thought, that single thought all by itself is not going to cause that to become your reality. I've got news for you. Because in order for that to happen, it really needs to become one of your deeply held beliefs in your subconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind is that part of you that you don't really have direct control over. This is where all of your feelings and emotions are, your long-term memory, your imagination, your habits, your behaviors, your creativity. This is where all of your deeply held beliefs, those limiting beliefs, deeply embed themselves. Your subconscious mind is what comes to life after you go to bed. It's that part of you that dreams while you sleep. You know, the ones that seem so real, and you wake up and you go, okay, that was weird. And then later on you realize that you can't even recall what the dream was about and how you were so vividly in touch with it just hours ago. Your subconscious mind is truly where your power to direct your life really resides. And it can be a painful realization when we become aware that we don't really have direct control over it. You realize that, say, when you've tried to change a deeply ingrained habit like smoking, like eating too much sugar, drinking too much. Now, we do indeed have control. It's just simply that we need to follow a special process in order to reprogram it. Our beliefs, good or bad, are only trying to protect us. In a lot of ways, these patterns are very helpful because you don't have to relearn how to do things that you learned a long time ago, like tie your shoes or drive your car. But at the same time, because these patterns are so locked into place, they can be very difficult to change. Our beliefs are our filters by which we see the world. The problem with these filters is that they trick us into acting like they are facts. Keep in mind that your beliefs are just that, beliefs. They aren't true just because you believe them, nor are they false. They may or may not be true or false, but the point is that once they take root in your subconscious, they influence your thinking, your feeling, and your behaviors. So you may have deeply held beliefs that are holding you back right now. I mean, we all do. These beliefs may have served a purpose at one point in your life, but now they're keeping you from achieving your full potential. Let's take the subject of money, for instance. Limiting beliefs play a huge role in how we think about money. For example, if you grew up in a household where your parents consistently said things like, I'm not made of money, money doesn't grow on trees, we don't have enough money, we can't afford it, then you've grown up with a belief system that's only going to allow you to have so much of it. You see the world through a filter of lack and scarcity. And even people who win the lottery, say you win the lottery, typically end up right back where they were because of these deeply held beliefs. Now, on the other hand, there are those people who have an abundance mindset. They just free flow with it. They feel rich and rewarded. They give generously, and everything they touch turns to gold. Nothing is out of reach for a person who has this type of belief system. You ever met anyone like that? Or know anyone like that? And of course, there is every variation in between. We all have limits as to what we think is possible for us to achieve. Once we clear one limit, then there's going to be another limit, just on a different level. So the key is to figure out which limiting beliefs are stopping you from making progress on your goals and clear it and move forward. Then, when you hit the next ceiling, do it again. Once you learn how to clear your limiting beliefs, you realize that you are capable of anything you set your mind to do. So exactly how do you eliminate or alter these limiting beliefs? Well, it does take a little more time than the few minutes that we have left here, but I'm going to give you a glimpse of how you can start to master your beliefs and change your life so dramatically. So the first step is to determine what your beliefs actually are. And since we're focusing right now on success in your career, let's go ahead and start there. So first, you want to begin asking yourself, and you can ask yourself this about any topic, what beliefs do I have right now that are holding me back? So that's number one. Write that down. What beliefs do I hold right now that are holding me back? Two, just list those on a piece of paper. All right. So list whatever those beliefs are, really dig deep and list them all out. Number three, go even deeper. For each of your limiting beliefs, ask yourself, why do I believe this? Why do I believe this? All right, and find out why you believe that. Number four, acknowledge that these beliefs may have once served a useful purpose and may still hold a useful purpose today, but they no longer really do serve the purpose of what it is that you're wanting to achieve. And so now you can reframe these beliefs into something that isn't limiting. And this is done by changing your perception. So maybe you have a belief that bad things are always happening to you. All right? You can turn any negative situation into a positive one. For example, in my life, I got laid off from my job way back a long time ago when I was living in Los Angeles. And I was working for a company that I really loved, and it was really devastating hearing those words, "We're going to have to let you go." That's the worst thing you possibly hear, especially when you love the job. Now, to reframe that situation, what I realized later on was that I really didn't want to live in Los Angeles anymore. And so this was going to give me a really good opportunity, plus the severance package they were giving me, to go ahead and make my move at that time to Las Vegas. So once I reframed it, I felt much better about the situation. And looking back on it now, it even ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to me, because maybe I would have never ended up in Vegas, never became a stockbroker, which led me to ultimately taking the seminars that I took, which gave me the breakthrough that I needed to have in order to start my business. So this reframing thing is going to help you to change how you view the universe. It's actually guiding you. The more you view the hand you're dealt as an opportunity. This is going to require a little bit of a shift, though, mentally and attitude, as we talked about early on. The power of your thoughts can quite literally change your world, and it's up to you. You can program your mind with positive, uplifting beliefs, or you can continue to let those old beliefs dictate your life. Remember, the subconscious mind is really very accepting. It will eventually believe whatever you tell it to believe, whatever you program it to believe. And you can program it for good or for bad. There are no limits as to what you can get your mind to believe. If you want to believe that you're a millionaire or someone who owns their own business or someone who works as a CEO of a major corporation and that you're the top salesperson in your region, you can do that. Anything and everything is possible. It's all up to you now. You have the tools to make it happen, and it doesn't have to take years and years to change yourself either. Change can happen in an instant. So with that said, I just want to recap the 3 things that we learned today. Number 1, success strategy number 1 is focus. You need to have absolute clarity on what it is that you want, be it short-term or long-term. And you received a really great meditation tool that you can use to help you to strengthen your power of focus. And success strategy number 2 is attitude. Your thoughts become things. It's your attitude that determines your success. And so you received some different practices, about 8 different practices that are going to help you to get into the habit of having a positive attitude. And finally, success strategy number 3, you learned how to change your subconscious limiting beliefs. Your beliefs dictate the level of success that you have in your life right now. You can change your limiting beliefs using that reframing technique that we talked about. There's a lot of other ways to do all of this. So I hope you enjoyed your time here with me on today's podcast and learned some new things about yourself during this really basic introduction. My mission in life is to help you, to inspire you to live your dreams, because you can be, do, or have anything that you want in your life. So with that said, I just want to congratulate you for being open and willing to exploring yourself today on today's podcast, Power of Your Mind podcast. I would like you to go ahead and review and rate the podcast. That way other people know how wonderful this information is. Now, like we talked about earlier, this information is really just the tip of the iceberg. And so if you are ready now to step into what's truly possible for you and get a real breakthrough in your life, I want to invite you to do that with me right now. I'm sure that you've discovered during this presentation that maybe life hasn't turned out exactly the way that you always dreamed it was going to, and now you see that it's actually possible to have those things like having more money, a dream career, work less hours, own your own business, travel, meet your soulmate, be healthy, be happy. And so now you know the steps in order to achieve these goals. And you're going to need to work on your focus, your attitude, especially those limiting beliefs. But I got to tell you, it does take work. And I'm not going to lie to you. You've probably got some blind spots, things that you're not really aware of. And so going at it alone without someone observing the way that you talk to yourself, it could take years, okay? Maybe even decades to rid yourself of this old programming. And you could, to look at these blind spots, you could hire a life success coach or a law of attraction coach like myself to do the one-on-one work with you, a hypnotherapist like myself to do this work with you at an unconscious level. When I work with people usually hire me for a few sessions and start seeing immediate results in just a few weeks. And I've worked with thousands of people that I've helped them to get the changes that they want far, far, far more rapidly than they could ever do on their own. And my clients are thanking me all the time for the help that I've provided to them to make these changes. And so that's one possible way that you could go about it. And I usually charge $250 an hour to work with me for an hour on Zoom. But another way to work with me would be live and in person, in a small group where you can do some deep, uninterrupted work and not have to wait weeks or months or years to make rapid changes. Because there's something really magical that takes place when you're in a room surrounded by other people that are all making shift happen in their life. In this group dynamic, there's a special synergistic energy that combines the power, which is far greater than any one person can achieve by working by themselves. So the growth that you experience during a live interactive group training with me is exponential because of the group environment. And you're going to find that even when other people are sharing, that you are at the same time gaining new insights about yourself. So quite honestly, I know that the quickest way for you to be able to move forward in your life into what is truly possible for you to transform those limiting beliefs into new empowering ones is by being a part of my 2-day Law of Attraction intensive, where we're going to work together to reprogram your powerful subconscious mind to help you create the life you want. So when you reserve your seat in the 2-day Law of Attraction intensive, you're going to be getting 16 hours of live, in-person, highly intense training on your mindset. You're going to get live and personal attention from me, where I'm going to challenge you to go beyond whatever you thought you were capable of and realize a personal transformation in your life. It is a life-changing experience. And my goal for you is that you're going to walk out of there recharged and ready to go after your vision with a whole new mindset, having complete clarity on exactly what you want, the focus, the drive, the beliefs to all make it happen in reality. And in order to arrive at that point at the end of those 2 days, we're going to go through a lot of mental exercises so that you come away on the second night with an empowering new belief system, vision for your life, clarity of purpose, your goals, and action plan to make it happen. So what are we going to do over those 16 hours that we spend together? Well, first of all, this weekend is not for everyone. I only work with people who are highly committed to being successful. In the game of life, I have never known anyone who achieved great success without commitment. So the 2-day Law of Attraction intensive is for those of you who are really committed to creating the career or business of your dreams or the life of your dreams. It's for people who have had enough and are tired of settling for less than what they deserve. It's about finally having that shift that you've been seeking that's going to propel you to new heights of success. So let me give you just a basic preview of what's happening. I want you to understand one thing for sure is that my plan for you is that you're going to come away at the end of this workshop feeling extremely confident, self-assured, ready to step into action on your dreams first thing in the morning after graduating from the seminar. You're going to learn self-hypnosis, which gives you access to your powerful subconscious mind. You're going to learn to deal with stress using special breathing and relaxation techniques. You're going to uncover deep insights about yourself and how your brain works. You're going to release and replace your old limiting beliefs with new empowering beliefs. You're going to gain clarity on your life purpose and your vision. You're going to formulate realistic and achievable goals and prepare an action plan to carry them out. You're going to understand how to make Law of Attraction work for you rather than against you. And you're going to practice with visualization, how to use that technique to manifest your desires. And you're going to create and work with your own powerful affirmations. You'll find out exactly what you need to say to yourself to get better results. You're going to, of course, be working on changing those limiting beliefs that create fear, doubt, and worry. You're going to experience how to maintain a high vibration so that you can attract things to you a little bit more easily. And then you graduate from the seminar. So you really want to be at this 2-day Law of Attraction intensive. That's an opportunity to connect with your vision, put your plans into action, feel empowered, move forward in your life. It is a life-altering experience. And I know you're going to be so happy that you made this decision for yourself. Anything and everything is possible if you believe it's possible. Just imagine, maybe you go something like this. Just imagine a year from now, you applied the tools and the techniques, the action plan that you got from spending a couple days out of your life with me and other like-minded people, and now you're living the dream. You're successful. You have your dream career. You're making money. you're happier, you let go of stress and negativity, you have more time for yourself, you go on vacations, there's a deeper connection in your relationships. You're so glad that you saw the value in investing in yourself. So, what would all that be worth to you? Well, if you were to hire me to coach you for 16 one-hour sessions, the number of hours you're going to spend with me over that weekend, the cost of that would be $4,000. Plus, it wouldn't be in person and they would be spread out over a much longer period of time. So it's going to take a little longer. Based on the value that I know that you're going to get and based on what I've seen similar trainings go for, I could easily charge $1,997 for this 2-day Law of Attraction intensive, and it would be worth far more than that. It would be worth every penny, all right? And that's what you will pay to register in the future. However, you're not going to pay $1,997 when you register today, okay? Today, I want to make it a complete no-brainer for anyone who has been listening to my podcast. And by the way, I am recording this podcast, just so you know, on July 11th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to air in a couple of hours. So it'll air at 5 o'clock. So as of right now, there are 12 people registered for the Scottsdale Law of Attraction intensive, and I only have 8 more seats because I'm only taking 20 people in each of the classes. And depending on where you're listening from, there's also classes available in Toronto, London, and Sydney. Those are just a little bit further off, but in September is when I'm doing the Scottsdale Law of Attraction intensive. So today, it's a complete no-brainer for anybody who has been listening to this podcast, because when you register directly on my website that I'm going to give you here in a moment, you're not even going to pay half of that. Okay? Today, when you register, you're only going to pay $497. That's 75% off for this entire life-changing 2-day Law of Attraction intensive. Now, I just want you to think about what some of your biggest blocks are to success you have in your life right now. Maybe it's that you want to change careers, or you want to find a job that makes you feel passionate and happy. Or maybe it's finding that man or the woman that you're meant to spend the rest of your life with. Maybe it's being able to finally stop dreaming about traveling, but actually having the resources of time and money to actually pursue that. Or maybe it's starting your own business or growing the one that you have right now. If you learned one thing at the Law of Attraction Intensive that caused you to be in a position to increase your annual paycheck by just 5% or even 10% a year. I mean, wouldn't that be worth the investment? Yet many people find that they're actually able to double and triple their income after working with the techniques that you're going to be learning in the Law of Attraction Intensive. So let's do this. Let's work together in person. Let's get rid of those limiting beliefs and create a new plan of action that's built on what you truly want for yourself. Right now is the time. It's your time to take total control of your life. Make it whatever you want it to be. You deserve this. And so take action now by going to victoriamgallagher.com. Okay, just type that into the Google search. Just type in victoriamgallagher.com, and you're going to see a link at the top that's going to take you to one of the registration pages. And so today I'm offering you 75% off, and the class, like I said, is limited to the first 20 people who enroll, and we're already over halfway there. So if you don't register today, July 11th, 2019, okay, and if you're listening to this years from now, this is long over, and there's probably all kinds of other classes going on at this time. But anyway, so you may miss out on the opportunity altogether. So it is hours and hours of training, 16, 16 full hours with me, plus the other people. And I'm just really, really excited to meet you and help you to begin your journey of manifesting using the law of attraction. So I encourage you now to just begin putting into practice everything that we covered here today. It's going to be great prep work for the seminar. It's going to be a great way for you to actually start applying this information, seeing real changes. And so you'll see all the dates and the times and locations listed of my next 2-day Law of Attraction Intensive. Go to Victoria M. Gallagher right now. That's victoriamgallagher.com. Thanks again so much for being here with me today. I look forward to seeing you in my next Law of Attraction Intensive. Like I said, the next one's here in Scottsdale, and I'll be going to Toronto and London. Toronto is going to be in October, London's going to be in November, and Sydney in March. So I look forward to meeting you at the next Law of Attraction Intensive. Thank you so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. And also, you can go to Amazon.com and get a copy of Practical Law of Attraction. Just type that into Amazon, Practical Law of Attraction, and you will see that that book is a #1 best-selling book. It's been #1 bestseller for the last 5 months. I'm so excited about it. And in a couple of weeks, I'm getting ready to launch my HypnoCloud app. I've been just so busy that working on my seminar and everything, that I haven't had a chance to launch that. So I'm going to be launching my HypnoCloud app, and that is going to provide you with 500 of my wonderful hypnosis downloads. So you'll want to go to the App Store soon and download your HypnoCloud app. All right. So once again, thanks so much for being here today. And I really look forward. And be sure to just email me at victoriamgallagher.com if you have any questions. If you want to be a guest on my show, or if you know somebody that you'd like to have me interview on my show, that would also be wonderful. So again, like I said, this is a special podcast today about this. And next week we will return with having a guest on the show. Take care and have a wonderful day. Go to victoriamgallagher.com. Bye now.